Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.
If I were him, I'd bundle my home and auto and pick up the real good food. Savings.
Are you talking about bowling?
No, bundle, Jan. Bundle.
Bundle and save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Sheldon, hey, God damn it, man. I keep meaning to get back to you about your cover thing we were talking about. Please don't think my lack of communication is a lack of interest or anything. But as far as this cover thing you were talking about, did you have a time frame? Okay. Oh, so by June. Okay, so
Get next season's
relatively ish,
now.
soon-ish.
Whistler Blackcomb, Park City, Vail, Beaver Creek, and more world-class resorts.
Okay, no problem. I've been kind of mulling over ideas in my head. I got to do a little kind of thinking on it. And then I was going to send you some ideas and then talk business end of it. But yeah, I think it'd be totally fun. Mr. Mello. Mr. Mello, I don't know what to say to that. That's a very, very, very kind and inspiring thing for me to hear. It means a lot. You know, I'm just a guy over here just drawing comics. I kind of figure there's a bunch of people out there like me doing the same thing, probably better at it. Well, no, not probably, definitely better at it. And I'm just trying to kind of throw my hat in the ring and make something that hopefully people will find enjoyable. It would never enter my wildest dreams that anybody would say that I would or could inspire them. The shy, awkward kid that is still deep inside of me still finds that kind of hard to believe. Do you know what I mean? as dumb as it sounds, because, you know, we're all grown-ass men, but it's one of those things that's just hard to believe. Usually because I have such a kind of a downer opinion of my own self. I'm like, I'm a nobody. I ain't got nothing to offer. I ain't got nothing to show.
Smiths always gives you more ways to save, like low
So-
prices in every aisle. Plus, you can click and save.
It does resonate. It does mean a lot.
And earn fuel points to save up to
Um,
$1 per gallon at the pump.
for
There are
sure.
more ways to save big. Smiths, fresh for everyone.
Especially in the face of the kind of art you make, Mr. Mello. I mean, you're constantly making, you're constantly painting, and everything you do is better than the last. So you're kind of the Alex Ross of my little art group kind of community of friends that I know, which I say with every bit of, you know, respect meant. But yeah, there's a kind of a group of you artists that are out there drawing with me. Sheldon, obviously. Blood Force Mitch doing his thing. And, you know, there's others. But just that we're all out here trying to make our art, and we all kind of find comfort with each other's works and fellow inspiration. It's nice. It's a nice thing. The internet often is like this hellhole, but it definitely has its upsides. Yeah, Mello, you're hella elevated. Hella elevated. Elevated. God, I've got a thing I want to try, and trying to find a good shit brush to experiment with.
I am 11 and I'm going into 9th grade. In my personal experience, Connections Academy is amazing and will really help support you in your learning journey.
What's up, LL? I wouldn't call what I'm doing sketching, but maybe that's just me being pretentious. I don't know, does anybody feel differently like that? Like sketching is just being rough and goofing around and not really trying, as opposed to the serious finished art when you're using your best tools and your best ability. I've seen people refer to professional artists' work as like, look at this amazing sketch this person did. And I'm like, it's like the most dynamic, perfect piece of finished art I've ever seen that artist do. You sound like Bob Ross, art like Alex Ross, and you look like Ross Perot. Dude, that's funny. Sorry if my phone is shaking. I got my laundry on, and it's just around the corner from my room here. And so, of course, it's a mobile home that I'm in. So it shakes the whole house, shakes the whole phone. There's an age gap to that joke. That is covering a lot. I bet a lot of people don't remember who Ross Perot is. The pen is truly mightier than the sword.
For whatever life throws at you.
The wide out pen is definitely mightier than the sword. It's suddenly got new life. And I've had a lot of people hit me up and tell me that this little trick, it's not my trick. I want to make sure I kind of point that out to everybody. I didn't discover this, but it's nice to be able to spread it around. Oh, shit. Bumping my camera. All right, let's remove some Post-it notes. I mean, I'm trying to do a planetoid body with like the sun rising behind it. Like we all get what that's supposed to look like, right? I mean, am I achieving kind of what I'm going for here? Let's remove the Post-it notes and see if it looks like it's working. Stay away. I actually think I like how that came out. I kept putting off that panel for months. Now I lost my pen. No, I didn't look at the Donner Superman movie, but that's kind of what I was thinking of. I was more thinking of Jesus, I can't even find the thing. Yeah, inker Jimmy Reyes. Boy, let me tell you a story about that guy.
It's time to change the way you buy a car. Because your dealership experience.
Oh, my commercials. Shut up. I mean, I was going for something like that, and I'm not going to have the color nor the computer effects to like just self-insert, you know, a picture of the planet. But something like that. And I didn't want to sit here and do all these ink lines that are really beautifully done like that. So I just kind of wanted to paint them in. But I don't know. I think it kind of works. Yeah, Jimmy Reyes. That guy is not on my dig the guy list. He was drawing his comic, Dragon Rage. He found my channel. He chatted me up. He even joined a live stream with me once and kind of took us through a tour of his art studio. Fantastic art, very nice guy. And he had a kind of a crowdfunder going for his book, which I donated to. And then he just disappeared. He got hyper religious, which is fine. I don't care about that. But he stopped making art, got hyper religious, posted nothing but stories of gospel, and then vanished, never producing the comic book. And I'm like, well, for a guy who's done professional comic art and is extremely talented, he must have had some kind of life-changing event, which again is fine. But to my knowledge, he's got the book done. And I paid for it. And he just vanished off the face of the planet. And so, I mean, whatever kind of life things are going on for him, I hope he's okay. But I am a little bit cheesed off. I would never take somebody's money and not give them what they asked for. So I struggle. And even Chuck Gibson knew him. And whatever, even Chuck was kind of like, yeah, I don't know what happened with the guy. Thinking of Wrightson? I mean, as long as it's good, or if it's kind of working, I hope that it goes over well. Thank you, man.
Which can save so much time. So, how about I save you some time?
Yeah, Mello, it kind of disheartening.
It feels good to save some time.
Again, I know people have life events. I 100% get it. But you don't just vanish and not explain why you don't produce the thing. Like, you don't take a person's money. And I say this as a guy who's going to be doing a crowdfunder and taking people's money, which is why my intention is to have the book completely done, lettered, and actually have a physical copy in my hand. So when I do the crowdfunder, I can be like, it's already done. You don't have to wait for anything. You just have to decide if you want it and decide what version of it you want. And I just need to know how many of what to print, and it'll show up to you. So I'm not going to fuck up my first crowdfunder by not producing what I said that I would. And I know there's a lot of people that do a crowdfunder before the book's done. But for me, in my case, especially on a first one, I want to build up the goodwill. You know what I mean? And have it done, as opposed to some crowdfunders that say, God damn it, I'm losing everything. Where they say, the script's written, there's 5 pages of art done. All we need are just the funds to finish drawing it. Yeah, I don't know about EVS. I don't know the story behind that. But I have heard that, and that's kind of disheartening because he's got a pretty huge following that they don't seem to mind. So I don't understand how that's working, but apparently it is. He's actually stopped in on my live streams before and said hi, which was very unexpected. Yes, concrete. I completely agree with. Promising, like, it shouldn't take years to make a single fucking comic book. Like, there's no way. I completely agree. I would definitely never donate again. You know? Like, well, you had your one chance. I am out. This one right here is still one of my favorite pages. I just really like the way those heavy black shadows come out. I feel like I should try to do more stuff with super heavy, kind of Mike Mignola, Sin City type heavy shadows, because anytime I do, I always like the result, but it's hard to do. And I don't feel like I'm very good at it, but when I do it, I always like the results. So, one of these days.
Ryan gave up his He was like, he focused. He didn't care. After switching to Connections Academy, he's back to being Ryan. I'm just so
John
grateful
K.
for my
post,
son.
I think post Scandal 90. I don't know who John K. is, but that's insane. When it would be 2 to 3 and it took 9, like a decade, please. Like just stop. And it also depends on how much like money you get. Like again, this is kind of hearsay. I hear people kind of talk about it, but I think I saw that Fraga from Liefeld did a freaking whatever that book of his is, Black Flag, and got like $250,000 or something. And I think still hasn't fulfilled it, or at least not completely. That's another, like, you gotta be kidding me. How can you take that much money from anybody? Okay, the creator of Ren and Stimpy, 110,000. It would be life-changing events for me to get $110,000 from a crowdfunder from people. Notwithstanding how much you have to send away for taxes. But it would almost be like, if I could keep this up and make a living off that, I can spend the latter part of my life doing what I love to do, hopefully. But you screw it up. So, I don't know. Unless I die, guys, you will get the stuff from me for anybody who's interested in it. I know I'm kind of taking my time on it, but I'm not going to ask for money on a crowdfunder and put it out there until it's 100% in my hands. So all I have to do is figure out how many of what, and then just kind of see what kind of hell it's going to be for me to package everything up and send it off on my own. But that's a task I'm happy to take on. That's a hard part of the job that I would love to have.
When it comes to sheet cutting, Xometry is a cut above the rest, delivering precision and excellence at every angle, corner, and curve. Get your sheet cutting quote today at Xometry.com. Xometry, where big ideas are built.
Uh-oh. Adult content warning. What did Sheldon say that's hilarious? I think I'm missing something. I gotta filter my chats better. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I have to always remember to adjust my chat filter to allow everything. It just defaults to setting it for like top comments. However, it decides that. It's so stupid. I actually hate it. But now I see it, Sheldon. Put a sticky note to cover the badge and then have the sticky note just a bigger badge. JOM. I draw on standard American comic book size paper, which is 11 by 17. Jerry, what's up? Tadius, what's up? Mello, thanks for stopping in, my dude. I am listening to the soundtrack to the original score of the original Batman movie from 1989, so not the animated show. But close. Yeah. Where does he get these wonderful toys? Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Let me make one thing clear. Geico works hard to save you up to 20% on home insurance. Let me make another thing clear. There you go. All good to watch a video. It feels
Yeah. Yeah, that is a funny part. Where it's like, he stole my balloons. Where does he get? Why didn't somebody tell me he had one of those things? Bob, gun. Takes the gun, boom, just shoots the guy. Jack Nicholson's Joker, legitimately a good Joker. Yeah, the tip on the white jelly roller ink. Well, like I said, I was saying in the video, I didn't come up with it. I was just passing it along, but it's extremely helpful, and I've had a lot of people mention that they liked it. So hopefully it gets out there and helps a bunch of different people find new life for these things. I've had some people say that I had this whole pack of them and they were just junk and I haven't thrown them away yet, but now I think I know what I can do with them. Brad Redacted. For myself, I guess basically, I don't script it out. So I do not have a script written for this thing that I'm drawing. I have the idea, and then I'll write down the basic plot, and then I will thumbnail out each page so I can get visually all the beats that I'm looking for. And then once it's done and drawn, then I script it and write the actual words after the fact. But like when I'm writing down the outline for myself, there's parts where I'll put in like, this is going to be said here, or that's going to be said there. So I guess basically like Marvel method, off a plot. I don't know how many pages. I don't even have it plotted out to its exact end. I'm about 15, 16 pages in. I'd say I'm a third of the way in, maybe. I do my shit weird, but because I'm making them for myself and I'm not beholden to anybody else's instructions, I make my comics as long as they need to be for me to tell the story I want to tell. So I'm not going to be like, a comic book is 20 pages, so I'm going to only do 20 pages. I like the idea of, like, if I'm going to give you a book and create one, I want it to be worthwhile. So I want you to get a lot of material. So, like, that's why my He-Man graphic novels are all 80 pages minimum, and there's 6 of them. The last one's 137 pages. And this thing's going to be maybe 40 pages. Like, I want to give somebody a substantial thing, not just a couple of pages and they got to wait a year for the next one or something. I'm kind of trying to do what I would like to get. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, I make these as big as they need to be to get the job done. I mean, it's not going to be a graphic novel per se. There are individual issues of comics that are just bigger issues. I picked up a floppy comic that's 48 pages, but it's a big issue. And that is the point. That is my goal. I want to give you something worthwhile. If anybody's going to bother spending any money on me, I want them to go like, hey, you put in a lot of work on that, and there's a lot of content there. So we'll see if my little theoretical model holds up to scrutiny when I do it. Dan Goodwin, Mark Domowitz, there's some of my favorite people.
He let me know that his love of science came from my class.
Dan, those pages that you're making, man, holy crap, dude. You're doing all these pages by hand now, right? All these things you keep showing, you're doing all this traditional art, right? And I don't mean it as a disrespect to your digital art, because it's crazy because your hand drawn stuff to me is as good or somehow, some way a little better. And I couldn't tell you why. Maybe it's just because my eye is drawn to hand drawn art. But that stuff you're making, my dude, it looks amazing. Like it's incredibly super professional work. Brad Redacted. Do I draw your stuff in order or do you draw by sequence? I it's kind of both, as weird as it is to say. I definitely like to start at the beginning of the comic and I work through it in order. Yes. But I have had times, even in this one, where I'm like, I'll get to a certain point and realize that I need something else at the beginning. Or there was a place where I had a scene here and a scene here of a couple pages each, and I swapped their place for story pacing reasons. So I do adjust it around, but generally speaking, yes, I draw in order. Like, I'm not going to draw the last page first. I've heard of artists doing that. Dan Goodwin, yeah, you're doing a show in July and thought you need to have some original art on hand. Dude, it looks so good. I swear, I tell you this every time. I'm going to get your books up here real soon. I've got them sitting next to me. I make these lies all the time, and I'm sure you're sick of it, but I've got those 3 issues to show, but your stuff looks amazing. Like the hand lettering, even for a guy like me who's not interested in doing hand lettering, it looks so good on your pages, dude. Everyone go follow Dan Goodwin's art. It's just insanely fantastic. He makes me feel like I need to work a lot harder. I put in time, but I think the effort coming out is, maybe I could do better. Mark, in case I forgot to say, Mark Domowitz, how are you doing, dude? Larry Stroman used to start his books by drawing the final sequences. I've heard of people doing the last page and then they know what they're working towards in the story to get to it. And I kind of get it. But my brain would just rather see it in order as the story is supposed to unfold. Because if I do a page at the end and have the final scene already drawn, if I'm drawing the pages beforehand the way I make comics, I might have something change that I'm like, oh no, this would actually be better. But if I already drew the last page, I'm already kind of locked into it unless I'm going to redraw it. So that's me. That's how I work. Mark, I'll show it here on screen here. So you can go check him out. I kind of thought you guys would know each other.
Increase your margins with up to $72,000 in referral fee discounts. Join Walmart Marketplace and start saving today.
Yeah, right there. Doghouse 059. Like, look at these hand-drawn, hand-lettered, badass original pages with all that lettering that's alive and vibrant. You know what, Dan? I was thinking the cartoonist kayfabe guys would fucking love your stuff. if you were to have, if they were still going and Ed was still alive and you were to send them this stuff, I think that they would shout you out in a second, especially over like the hand done lettering. I'm like, they would love your work. They'd look at my shit and be like, whatever. He's like a 90s throwback, whatever. We've seen 1,000 guys like this. But, God damn, does that look good. You should be making tons of money off your work, my dude. Bode Sims inspired. You would definitely know more about it than I would. I don't know anything except that I know that I'm no good at it, which is why I use a very basic, cheap program. And God, that looks so good. Yeah. Fantastic work. You know, Dan, I know I say this having your books in hand that I haven't put up on the channel, like the most recent ones. I've done them twice already, but if you ever need like a shout out on social media, I'm willing to do it, dude. I don't know how much of a difference it would make. I've got a little bit of an audience, but if you're doing an art show and you need any kind of like friend assistance to kind of shout out something where people might be listening, you just hit me up, man. I got you. If I can use my silly channel for any kind of assistance like that. Mark, you're doing all right. Situation is nothing like I'd ever imagined. I get you. Well, same with you, Mark. If there's anything I can do, you guys are my homies. Mello, who was here, Sheldon, who's here, Mark, Dan. You guys have been around for a long time. You're the OG crew. Mark, the group therapy session we had the other day. I'm glad. The Rocky speech thing that we were all talking about. Yeah. Yeah, you're looking for a partner to maybe do a creator commentary on the next issue. Are you talking about like doing a video live stream, Dan, or what were you thinking? Because it sounds fun, sounds interesting. Dan is 51. I'm about 8 months away from being 50 myself. I do not like the idea of being an old man. All right, Dan. Yeah, no problem. No problem.
after you will see. So I can't go like a jerk. Systematic, although of upper class. Hollywood conjures images of the past. New worldly
Spirituality that will last.
I've seen the future and it will be. I've seen the future and it will be. I've seen the future and it works. This life after we will see. So I can't go like a jerk. Yellow smiling off of me X.
Yeah, well, I got the instrumental score got done, so now I'm listening to the Prince soundtrack, which I don't love everything on there, but I do like certain ones on it a lot. You know what, Dan? I totally agree with you, man. There's people our age that are making stuff, and it's some of the more interesting stuff out there. Too dumb to be true. Somebody told me paying cops and robbers was cool. If I only knew. You know, a while ago, some of us were talking kind of jokingly, but, you know, about groups of us who are here who actually have bodies of work, which is kind of, I mean, obviously you, Dan, Sheldon, he's got a body of work. He's got a book he's making. He's got one he's made and another one he's making. Mark has a beautiful giant magazine book that he's got. But there was talk about some of us kind of, I don't want to say we kind of announce ourselves as kind of like an imprint, but something like that. Like this, these are these books from us. We are making books and we are these guys. Could even like put ads for other people's books in each other's books. I could shout them out all over the place. But everyone's just kind of responsible for their own thing. I don't know. It seemed like an interesting idea that might be logistically more of a pain in the ass than it's worth, but I don't know.
Think about the future. The future.
Yeah, the Next Image Comics.
I bundle my home and auto and pick up the real victory. Savings.
Are you talking about bowling?
No.
Yeah, the Next Image Comics. I mean, sort of. I think that's what those Power Pulp Comics got thing. Those guys are kind of doing that thing. Well, I'd love to see you make a thing, Mark. Even if you just wrote it and had somebody else to draw it. I think you've got legit ideas, guy. And I get the kind of like the effort required to put into a full ass thing like that, but that would be awesome. I get that, Dan. I actually have had those same thoughts. Um, I do like the idea of being solo, but I can't say F Kickstarter because I am trying to. I don't want to say I'm trying to make money on this, but I am. I would like to, but it's all in the service of um, getting it out there in people's hands and trying to make it something worthwhile for people. And Kickstarter, it seems to be a way to kind of do both. But I do get the idea of like, I don't know if I want to shack up with a bunch of people who could potentially ruin your vibe and your image if they don't kind of pull their own weight. Mark, you have an idea you're sitting on behind other projects, which themselves are behind my job. I need to get fired again. Oh, Mark, I so get that. I really, really do get that. Well, Mark, it's because I got nothing else going on in my life. I hate to say I was good. I don't want it to make it sound like, oh, I'm such a loser. So that's all. That's why I just draw comics all day, because that kind of insults all of us. But I don't have any. Well, no, I have other stuff I should be doing. I got a lot of things around the house I should be doing. But this is where I want to be, and so it's easy for me to find the time. And I'm motivated by the sudden random, for lack of a better term, success of my channel, and the fact that I'm just an old fucking man now. I'm like, I'm as good now as I'm ever going to be, and this is as good a chance as there will ever be for me to make something happen. And it might only last a couple years, maybe, if I'm lucky. So I'm like, go for it. Make the thing, do the thing. And this just kind of goes along with what I say all the time. You guys are sick of hearing me say it, but I'm like, how long will I have this drive being a almost 50-year-old guy? I don't think it's ever going to go away, but I got to make this stuff. I got comics to tell. For the first time in my life, I'm telling them, and I'm doing it in a way that I like. And for some reason, some people want to see them. It's all I've ever wanted since I was a teenager and reading X-Men by Jim Lee. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. And now at 49 years old, I kind of have the opportunity. So it's like, go. Foot on the gas. Either be successful or run the car straight into a tree and die trying, right? No, I get you, Dan. I didn't take it as like a negative. I'm just like, it would be nice to be able to just make stuff and have it work. I could also conceivably, and I will. Let's say I do a crowdfunder, like a Kickstarter, and it's not successful. You know what? I still have a YouTube channel, and I've got people I can reach, and I'm going to print them up anyway and get them in people's hands anyway. So it's not like I'm worried about all the effort going to waste. I have this opportunity to be able to show it and share it, and I consider myself very lucky. But no, I didn't take it as a negative. I get your point, 100%. But I also like the idea of like me, for example, being able to help get other people see your stuff. Um, we all kind of support each other and back each other up. Yeah, Sheldon. Artist Elites tried doing that. I don't think they're around anymore. Kirkham was part of that. Yeah, I know it's kind of a tough proposition. It's kind of more of just in my mind, like not a publishing house, just a place to be like, this is us. My name is Rob. This is Sheldon. This is Dan. This is Mark. This is Jason, Ginger Bear. These are our books. And we all kind of like each other, so we kind of support each other. But it can, anyone can run off and do any damn thing that they want. We're not tied to each other. But again, it sounds super simple. It sounds like, oh my God, we should totally do this thing. Cro-Magnon, stop the self-depreciating. If you're old, what am I? When do you start farting while you eat? I did that today. Yeah, Sheldon, the idea of promoting other comics in the comics, like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to have my friend Jason an ad for his book, and then my brother, he's going to have an ad in my thing to go amongst all the fake ads that are going to be in there. There's actually going to be real ones. Brad, the appeal of your work to me is that it's authentic. You're doing it for yourself. That's in stark contrast to just how soulless modern comics can be. I agree. It kind of feels that way to me too. As far as the soulless comics, I mean, whether I'm authentic or not, I mean, that is the thing. Like, I tell people, you better do this shit because you just love it and you have to, not because you're like, this is the path to fortune and glory. Maybe not glory, but you know what I mean. If this is like, I'm going to make a living, I'm going to get rich making comics. No, you won't. But if you do it because you just love it and you just have to do it, there are like-minded folks out there. We're all just kind of working our butts off, trying to do the same thing. I do like that mostly Marvel. Got to throw that dig. Ha! Yep. All right. I think I got to decide if I'm going to put backgrounds down in this big bottom panel, but I don't think I want to because it's going to be covered in a lot of text bubbles. That's why it's so big. There's going to be a lot of dialogue. So why draw in a bunch of backgrounds when it's just going to be covered in words? As far as a professional artist who cared about his craft, I would do it. But I'm just little old me.
Relax and let Smith's Pickup handle your grocery shopping this week. We start with only
Mark, are you talking about this one here?
right into your trunk, so you can feel confident. It's
Because
ordered.
no, that all just came from me trying to
Pickup and delivery.
see if I could pull off some kind of gesture with the hands.
$30
So
off.
no, so thank you.
Smith's.
It still looks a little off from from being perfect or like the way I want it, but I was trying to get some gesture, like some body language in there. So thank you. I appreciate that. I was trying something. Yeah, Dan, you saw a Liefeld barn establishing shot today. Wasn't it amazing? It was like this little teeny tiny drawing they just zoomed in on. And then they're like, yep, make that a splash page for the opening. You know what's crazy? With that fucking barn shot, like here's what you do. It was a trip, right? I'm like, okay, have your splash page here. Automatically block off the top for text. So you just block it off and say up here, it's going to be black. And then maybe down here, block it off so you know there's going to be credits. Like, okay, so now you've just reduced the size. And now just that little fucking barn, just make it a little barn. Do a little barn. And have the little silo next to it. And there's a little building. And then have some grassy fields. And then just do a bunch of trees. You could have a big tree right up front. So you could give some depth. And then do some smaller trees and get some, you know, the leaves and branches and stuff like that. And then in the background, put some mountains or something. Reference some mountains. Do some fucking mountains or something like that. Some more trees in the background. Put some clouds. Maybe put a sun in there. Like, you don't have to do a super hyper zoomed in close-up shot, but how hard is it to draw trees and grass and mountains even when you can reduce the size of the page? Just have this be your little barn. If you can't draw it, then just make it small, and then you can have Cannonball right here. She's like, I'm nigh invulnerable when I'm blasting, and then he's just flying through the sky. And then you got text, Rob Liefeld, everything. And then up here is the title treatment for the book. Super fucking simple. But his head is so far up his fucking ass, he can wear himself for a hat. He like takes this little tiny drawing and then just zooms in on it, and it looks terrible. And he's like, opening splash page to my book. That's what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, just have trees up front, like, so you get foreground, middle ground, background. It gives a sense of depth. And it's not hard. But Liefeld won't stop and do hard backgrounds or even intricate work on backgrounds. He'll do intricate detailed lines on faces and muscles and shit. But it's so aggravating. Not that any of you need me to tell you that. It's like, yeah, we know. Oh, shit. Keep forgetting to blacken out my my little white pen demonstration lines over here that I did on that video. I forgot to like go back over them and cover them shits back up. They're not part of the art. Just leave them in there and people be like, that explosion page, what the fuck were those weird squiggly white lines? I'm like, oh, you know what? Don't worry about it. It's a secret. Mark that page with the barn on the back. You want that one? Brett, I have the whole, as far as I know, I've got several issues of that run. As far as I know, I've got it all. I think he ends up fighting Apocalypse again, something like that. All right, Dan. No problem. I honestly don't know the brand. Sheldon, are you there? Did you find the brand of this damn thing? It's got some symbol on it. But I don't remember the brand because I took it out of the package. A friend of mine sent it to me. It's a unique thing because the handle is squishy, and you push it, and it kind of pushes the ink down into the tip. And I'm told it's refillable. I haven't had to try it yet, but it's got a really nice fine tip point. Pentel, okay. Like I said, I threw the box away. I wasn't like, why would I care? Like, opened it up, threw it away, and then started futzing with it. Sheldon, have you used it anymore? Have you found it to be useful, or is it still frustrating? The more I use it, the more I like it, but it has taken a little bit of a learning curve for me.
Dewey is the answer to hard questions.
Should I be concerned about this?
Because gas, let's ask Blackjack. And hard questions.
She's not particularly a problem, man. Is she?
Mark, you use these ones? Yeah. My friend Latik Curry sent them to me. He said that he started using them when he saw that David Finch was using them. And that's kind of all the kind of information I'd need to know. I'd be like, oh, he's using it? Well, now I need to try it myself too. Yeah, it's taken me a little bit to warm up to them, but I'm getting a feel for them, and they can do some fun stuff that I can't get out of other pens. Yeah, you like it. Still learning it. Saves you from the micron brush tip. Yeah, some of those other pen tips, yeah, eventually those felt tips on them, they kind of start busting apart and they don't have a nice fine line. So, yeah, I've just used it for just kind of big, bold brush line inking so far. But you could get a really fine line out of it. But you gotta kind of learn how to control it because it's got kind of a bigger, thicker case. Like the body of it's a little bit bigger than I'm used to, and so I feel like I'm holding onto this giant thing that I'm not used to. So that is a bit of a struggle, but I'm working around it. I'm not used to having to handle big, bulky, cylindrical objects in my hands and get fun things to happen with it, but eventually, it'll happen. Yeah, Dan, I would recommend giving it a shot. Again, Pentel, Mark, it's refillable, right? I haven't messed with it. And I don't want to like unscrew it and start popping it open and then have ink spill all over the place. So I don't know, but I was told that you can refill the ink on these, which is kind of the biggest selling point for me. Brad Redacted, you remember in issue 6, Liefeld killed Cable. Meanwhile, there was an ongoing Cable and Deadpool series still being published monthly. Yeah, I was kind of saying that about the characters in that X-Force, like I was reviewing today, issue 2. There's that one character, John Spector, the future guy. It's like, has he ever been brought up again? Does anybody care? And does any of the big life-changing events that happens that Liefeld puts in these books, does anybody reference them? I don't think so. They're just pointless, like, stroke fests for him. But The fucking aggravating part is that they sell, and so they keep bringing him back, even though Liefeld says he's done now because he's pissed off that they didn't invite him to Deadpool Wolverine, which, whatever. Yeah, you kind of like bounce your hand around the page with that soft tip if you're going lightly across the page, and you can get some interesting kind of textures coming out of this flowing tip. Okay, you can do it, but it's an unsanctioned hack. They want you to buy cartridges. And okay, and so the ink is kind of unique to it. Well, I've got bottles of ink that I really like. I guess I'll have to see if I can figure out how to refill it and if it makes it worth it. Because I don't blow through ink cartridges on these things very fast. I don't fill in heavy blacks with these things. I only do like the important lines, nice snaps and line weights and, you know, thin to thick lines. But if I need to fill in black or something like that, I'm getting out my bottle of ink and just a standard brush and filling it in that way. So I don't burn through these very quickly.
Ryan gave up at school. He was lacking focus.
Cartridges are fine. Yeah, sometimes it's just easier to just, I'll just buy the cartridges and make the thing work in the way it's supposed to be rather than drilling holes in it. Shitter profit. Shittier profit. I still keep thinking of, I keep coming up with various conversation bits with Prophet talking like Forrest Gump. And I keep, like, I'm at work and I'll be outside on a forklift unloading a truck. So my mind is just wandering and I'm like coming up with like conversations that Prophet's having with people. He's like, my name is Prophet. I am here to fight in the name of the Lord. I have a girlfriend. Her name is Silence. She can't talk, but she talks in my head. The other day, she told me that if I was a good boy, she would put my pecker in her mouth. I had to tell her that I don't own a bird. So I took her to KFC. Life is like a box of profits. Oh my God, next time I do a profit review, that's got to be the opening line. The trick is will I remember it? Screenshot. Life is like a box of profits. Oh my God, that's funny. You know, Brad, you're not wrong. That is, I mean, it's obvious when you say it, but if it weren't for Stephen Platt, no one would give a shit about Prophet, and that he was kind of elevated artificially because of it, and then he just kind of stays there. That's great observation. Mark, Men of Culture. Have you seen the recent Dakota Johnson Calvin Klein ad? No, I haven't, but it sounds like I've got some homework to do later. Life is like a box of profits. You never know how many bullets are gonna get shot.
While our nation's best are giving their blood, sweat, and tears on the pitch.
Yeah, it was all Stephen Platt art. Could have been any character. Could have been Moon Knight. Just imagine if Jim Lee grabbed onto him and put him on fucking Backlash or something. We would all be having different conversations about Backlash, for example. Mark, it's great for reference. Well, I will be looking up later. Keep on dancing. Now you got me wondering, Mark. Yeah, there's some good shots there, Mark. I am particularly a fan of... I like that one. Stephen Platt, Cable Wolverine one shot written by Joe Casey. I don't think I have. I'm trying to see if I can remember it, but I don't think I've seen it. Yeah, too many inkers kind of futzing around with the vibe of everything can definitely screw a thing up. That's the kind of thing that they should just like get one good consistent inker. They should have Joseph Weems ink Stephen Platt, and it'll be the most epic book ever, and give them the time they need to get it done, and then they would have a great product. But when you have 50 inkers, it's kind of like, well, now I don't care. So yeah, Dan, the white ink is still flowing. So I have discovered when I first did it, the ink was flowing really well. I think it's because it's air pressure, right? And so, but as you use the ink gets used up. So then the pressure is not as much. So every time that I'm using it here, if I set it down for like 10 minutes or so, the ink isn't flowing. So I have to pop open the back and push it down. I have to plunge the opening again to get the ink flowing from it. So it won't stay that way forever. Again, because you're using it, so you're pulling ink out of it. The pressure is being reduced, so the ink is not being forced out. So you have to get back into it and keep pushing it in. But it works. It makes these things super useful suddenly. This my shit. This my shit. Yeah, see, it just made that glow reflection off the top of this guy's head just pop, because the one I had in there previously wasn't the bright flowing ink, so it works really well. I am a hollaback girl. How could I be anything but? Also, Dan, be aware that it will pool up on the tip of the pen and it could possibly drip out. So don't hover over your art without paying attention to what you've got and what you're doing. Does it smell bad? Does what smell bad? You've had it drip without popping the back. Oh man, this song used to be a thing. Say mama. Which Pussycat doll is your favorite? My answer is yes. Ugh. Yes. Juggernaut. Remember when the Spice Girls took over the world? I remember when they were a thing. I was like, are these girls awesome? I mean, I guess they are. I bet this won't last long. Yeah, this song came out 20 years ago, right? All these young honeys are not so young anymore. Wouldn't stop me. Like, what you want, baby? They disbanded in 2010. I wouldn't be surprised. It's like, what more do they have to say? You did your Pussycat Doll thing. It's kind of done. Say what you go down on me.
Oh, you found it. What a relief. Thanks, Gecko.
Geico works hard to find you the right home insurance.
Geico.
We're working hard for you too.
Anything else down there?
Just this old crisp.
Geico.
It feels good to find what you're missing. It feels good to Geico.
When he let me know that his love of science came from my class and from me.
Yeah, this is part 2, though it's not a continuation of that story. Dan, exactly. That whole dick in the jar thing is done. In fact, the ninja guy who got his dick cut off, he's not even in this book. But it is continuing a story with, there's this girl who was in the beginning of the book for like 3 or 4 pages, and she kind of survived everything and took off. And then this is the guy that was the Cable stand-in character that was on in the other book. He's the continuing character in this one. But yes, it is the same universe. It is the same characters. It is the second issue, but it's not continuing that story about the dick in a jar. That's done. We're just on to other stuff. But issue 1, I haven't. It's penciled. It's inked. I've scripted it. I just basically have to sit down and actually just do the lettering and then put together like the odds and ends, like the cover. Get the lettering on the cover and get it off to a guy to get it colored. There's a couple of things I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I got to reach out to some people who might be able to help me kind of piece together a couple of things. But it's basically I just got to put it together and then we'll crowdfund it and get it out there. So no, you didn't miss anything. I just haven't finished it. Yeah, no, I haven't put it out. Yeah, it's not out there. You would know, believe me, because I would be shouting the shit out of it on my channel everywhere. The problem is that I would rather be drawing pages than lettering pages. So I keep putting it off. And so I've actually committed myself, which is kind of why what I'm doing is I'm just noodling away on every page that I have and finishing up little odds and ends. That's why I was doing backgrounds on some places and just finishing up little bits and pieces. Because I am not going to start another page on this issue until I get at least a big chunk of completion done on the other thing. I kind of have to like reward myself. If I want to draw my book, I need to get some of the boring shit done on the other one. I have to motivate myself. So, but yeah, I actually started out with finishing up this top panel, which the more I look at it, the more I kind of like what I did there. Not to kiss my own ass, that sounds stupid, but I kind of like the way this planet shot in space come out. That was the first thing I started on tonight. But yeah, I just been going through every page and just like, what little thing did I not finish? Like I did all the backgrounds on that top panel. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. You might see me doing a live stream where I'm just lettering pages on the computer. But yeah, I'm not going to start any new stuff on this until I get some momentum going on the actual other book. Because I got to get it done. It's drawn. Chuck inked the whole thing. It's ready to just be put together and then made. I just got to go. Time to go.
More than words to show you feel that your love for me is real. If I took myself away, then you couldn't make things new just by saying I love you.
Jeep Compass is your invitation to start doing Jeep things. With more tech, more comfort, and more capability. Here's to more Jeep things this year.
Always starting something. Anybody go see the Michael Jackson movie? I went and saw it. Pretty entertaining. I know I've had this conversation with some of you. Shh. You rarely watch movies, Sheldon. I get it. I am going to see the new He-Man movie when it comes out in about a month. Yeah, Michael Jackson as Peter Pan in Spielberg's Hook. No thanks. I know he kind of tried to swing that deal. It's like, thanks, Michael. You're awesome at what you do, but no, we're gonna cast it correctly with the, Robin Williams. But thanks, buddy. This is another page I was putting off because I don't really want to draw all this background element shit, but I know when you put in the effort and do it, it makes it all worth it, and you're like, oh, yeah, that looks good. Or at least better than if you left it blank. Just leave it for the colorist, right? Oh, wait. There is no colorist. I do have a plan. I was talking about this on the last live stream, so if anybody else is, if you guys have heard this, and this is already dumb, but if you guys watched my video a couple months ago, I did that Liefeld's Last Blood comic, but it was all the gray tone, where they just took out the colors and then they had that artist come along and do the gray tones over it. And I thought it looked really good. And so I kind of want that look. And I've happened to have made friends with that artist who did those gray tones. He's the guy who did kind of the ink finishing on that Battlestar Barbarian book, Steven Rickseidler. I'm hoping to, if the crowdfunder for this first book goes well, and this is why I kind of want to make some money at it. I want to bank enough money to hire him to do the gray tones on my book the way he did Liefeld's book. Because Chuck is going to be doing his own thing. And, so I'm working on this one kind of on my own in terms of the art. But I still want to have gray tones rather than just straight black and white. Because I think that would look awesome. And I think he'd be totally into it to do it. But I got to have the money to pay him. So hence another reason to hopefully have a successful crowdfunder. Because He's a pro guy, so I can't ask him like, hey, you want to do me a favor? If I had the digital tools, I could actually think I just, if somebody could give me the digital tools and show me how to use them, I could actually probably do digital gray tones on my own. I think well, I'm sure I'd enjoy it, and I think I might actually do kind of good at it. I think, at least I tell myself that. But till then. Well, I mean, Sheldon, I mean, I'm reasonably successful. I'm reasonably sure that a crowdfunder will be successful, but I'm not going to like I'm only going to ask for like a smallish amount in terms of being successful. I can't set the goal way high hoping that it'll fund future stuff. But it would be nice if it just happened to actually do really well, enough that I could bank money aside to be able to pay him, because, I kind of need to know, like, who wants the book, and so I know how many copies to print. But it would be nice if it took off and, made some money. I don't know. I haven't even put it together yet. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing. That's one of those things that's kind of up there in the air, in the wind, until I put it. I need to know how much the book is going to cost to print, which I can't know until I actually get it done and submit it to the printer and find out what cost will be per issue. So, I mean, for those of you who follow our mutual good friend, Blood Force Mitch, I mean, he had a goal of like 4,000. I would imagine something like that, I guess. But yeah, I'm not there yet, so I don't know what yet it's going to be. And yeah, I know there's probably tutorials, but the thing is I don't have the technology to do it. $1 million. Yeah, again, I know I could learn to, but I don't have the technology. I have a barely functioning laptop, and that's it. And if I wouldn't have had all that fucking money stolen from me about a year ago, I'd be willing to spend a lot of that in investment on stuff like that. But I've been working hard to kind of dig myself out of some debt, which I'm very close to, but still. Yeah, Dan, figure out budgets and offer tiers. Yeah, and that's the thing I was going to figure out kind of what tiers, because my initial idea is to keep it kind of basic. Like, I've seen some crowdfunders where I've talked about this, where they get into all this tchotchke bullshit. If you reach this level, you get stickers. If you reach this level, you get a coaster. If you get this level, you get a bookmark. I don't want any of that fucking shit. It's fun, it's cute, especially if people enjoy that type of stuff, but I am not interested in offering bookmarks and coasters and stickers unless I'm being stupid and hurting myself by actively saying I don't want to do that. I just kind of want to offer the comic, and be like, here's my book. Now, I was going to do tiers to reach where it's like, if anybody wants to pay at this level, I will, here's a commission. I will maybe have 2 commission slots. I'm going to hit up Chuck Gibson and see if he'd be willing to participate in a a very high level tier, like if somebody wants to do it, I pencil something and then I would mail it to Chuck and then he inks it by hand. And then therefore somebody could have a original art of pencil and inked work that has the hand of Chuck Gibson on it. You know, I haven't actually hit him up on that one, but it would have to be a tier level on the crowdfunder where it puts some money in his pocket. It has to be worth it for him. And if we hit a level, I'm sure he'd be into it. But I haven't actually run that by him yet because I haven't got there. I don't want to jump ahead. But that's something I think I would like to think might be a thing that people would be interested in. But yeah, an original hand penciled and hand inked by me and Chuck. Yeah, Dan, you make comics, not knickknacks. See, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sheldon, just remember the goal you choose on Kickstarter includes shipping costs. That was actually one of the questions that I was going to have, that I was going to reach out and ask some people. I know I'd eventually figure it out, but I was going to reach out to you, Sheldon, or one or other two people who have done it and might know. Yeah, Sheldon, you got a drawer full of trinkets that I don't know what to do with from crowdfunders you back. Right. I don't want to offer just a bunch of bullshit unless people want it. But like I take stickers and the nice ones on my table here. I put them around the edges of my desk. I've got those here, but I got a bunch of shit that I've honestly just thrown in the garbage. I want to offer the comic, and then there'll probably be some tier levels where here's original pages. If somebody wants to buy some of the original art, you can. Here's a commission level, you can. But yeah, I kind of just want to make it simple. Like, here's my comic. Like, I guess I have in my head, again, I don't know what the cost, like my cost would be on the comic yet, but historically from the place I go through, my cost is like $5 or $6 for black and white with the color cover from that fucking whatever the place, Comic Wellsprings, for those graphic novels. You know, it's not a lot. So I'm kind of like, do I a price point on the book of like $10 if it's a 40-page black and white comic book? That's kind of what I have in my head, but again, I haven't put it together yet, so I don't have definitive answers. All things that I am working towards getting done. Yeah, JOM, it's easier to release at a convention. I don't go to conventions except the local one, and no one knows who I am here. So it's kind of pointless in that regard. But I have an audience I can reach through my channel. Like I said, I can just, I'm going to make the comic and release it through my YouTube channel just privately, even if a crowdfunder isn't successful. It'll be available. It's just, it'd be kind of nice to reach a wider audience and, I don't know, just make a few extra bucks. Yeah, I ain't printing 3,000 copies. I don't think that's happening. That is so fucking way above what I think I would ever come close to. I like my stupid little He-Man fan comic. If I've sold 100 copies of each book, no, I know I haven't. I haven't sold 100 copies of each book. Maybe the first, because I order them in batches of 25, and I've done that 4 times or so, but then I split it with my brother because he sells them too. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be printing 2,000 copies of this thing. I don't want to have a massive. That's why I want to do the crowdfunder, to get an idea of how many people definitely want. And then, yes, I want to print some to have on hand to take to my local convention and offer for sale later. But again, all things that will be figured out. No, there's no crowdfunder live yet or anything like that. We're just talking about that. I need to get cracking on it to get it out there. But how I don't have a bunch of I don't have a lot of ideas exactly yet on some of the finer details, which I have to figure out. Yeah, 3,000 would ship out on a pallet. Yeah, I don't need that many copies. And then I'll do what I can do. I mean, I'll see about, you know, showing up on any other people's channels, you know, if that works. A lot of channels that I know, I kind of have a bigger following than a lot of others are certainly way bigger than me, for sure. But yeah, kind of like Mitch did. He showed up on some other channels and stuff like that, and kind of putting his stuff out there. So I guess I'll try that. I don't know how to go about it. I'll just have to just look around and ask and see what I can scare up. You know what, Mr. Pritchard? We're talking about book one. The entire thing is not safe for work. I've actually thought about printing up a version that has all the very, very X-rated material on a couple of pages, like blocked out or something, so I can make a safe version for anybody who maybe wants it. But I don't know if you see the content. I was drawing those pages over the last year. There's a couple of pages that it is very adult content. And I'm not talking like there's titties. I'm talking like it gets really graphic, because that was the joke. That was the whole point. When the character has his dick severed, but it still works. And so his ex-girlfriend finds use for it. I'm like, it's the dumbest idea I've ever thought of. And I'm like, I have to make it. I will never be content if I don't make this stupid fucking idea. So, yeah, Sheldon, I agree. Yeah, going to some other channel for sure. That'd be good. Make a documentary about making your book. That will make people aware that people still exist fighting AI. Well, I'd have to be filming content previous to this. I'm just a little operation here. I'm just a little guy. Just trying to do my dumb thing. Yeah, the live stream is the documentary. It kind of is, because it's something that Chuck Gibson kind of pointed out to me. He's like, Rob, you got a really good kind of an interesting, and he said it's a good idea, my approach to making my thing. I'm like, what do you mean? What approach? I'm just drawing a comic. He's like, yeah, but you're live streaming every page in real time. Like, you're not hiding it. You're showing every page that will be in the book. So I'm not worried about like spoilers. You know, I've had some people say that, like, you're showing every page. I'm like, yeah, but by the time it gets in your hands, like a year will have passed. People will have forgotten. But you're not seeing it lettered, and you don't get to know the narrative. You just get to see the art. And Chuck was like, that's a pretty good idea, I think, dude. He's like, I think that works. People get to follow along as you create it. And then when you actually make the thing and it's done, you could put it in their hands and these people saw you make it. They'll look at a page and be like, I remember talking to you on the live stream about that page. And like, hell, Sheldon, didn't you pointed out some like discrepancies in some figures that I had. And you were like, Rob, you should probably fix that. And you were right. And you'll be able to see the book and be like, I told this dumbass artist to fix that. And he actually listened to me. So I was like, yeah, I guess that's a good point. It is a different way of making it. It's not just like, it's not like I'm a name and where I can just be like, hey, I've got a new book coming out based on my name. Just follow me and buy my book. You kind of get to know me. Hopefully you like me a little bit. And then you get to see the book made in real time. I'm like, yeah, that wasn't an intentional thing on my part. I'm just live streaming and making comics, but maybe it'll work. Make a documentary about my documentary. I should do a fake panel, like do a whole fake page just to throw everyone off. Like, I swear to God, he drew an entire page and it's not here. What the hell? What am I not understanding? This is weird. Based on my art and my content, that will make it. I mean, it's kind of working. I mean, I've got some conversations, like I've got a couple of pros. Like I had an interview with Joseph Weems of all people, guys. Like one of the best inkers, in my mind, the best inker out there right now. He was Mark Silvestri's personal inker for 8 years on all these amazing books. And he was willing to talk to me. And, you know, all I had to do was like ask him. I just reached out. Well, he commented and I kind of said, hey, any chance you'd want to talk to me? And he's like, sure. But I'm like, how did I get lucky enough to, you know, I've talked to a couple of guys from the Extreme Studios from back in the day. I actually got to chat real briefly with L.A. Garza, who did that Ninja Boy series. He found my channel and commented on that video that I made. And then I just kind of sent him a message. I'm like, hey, dude, thanks for commenting. And he's like, hey, no problem. It's good to see people looking at the work. I appreciate it. So, you know, it's kind of creating a name in a way for myself.
I am 11 and I'm going into 9th grade. In my personal experience, Connections Academy.
I'm in Utah in the States. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, Sheldon, it was really fun. It was a long, what was it? Hour and a half or something like that. I can't remember. It went long, but I kind of knew it would because I just wanted to sit and talk to the guy and he was on board. And he even threw out the option of, he's like, hey, I know a couple other inkers and other artists. I could probably get a hold of them and we could do more. I was like, oh shit, that would be incredible. So, you know, there's other possible future things. Yeah, Concrete, probably because comics are so niche. You can look up a well-known comic and there's like 2 videos about it. I do find myself checking out other YouTube channels that do similar stuff that I do. And I'll run to channels where like they might have 24,000 subscribers, but their views are no better than mine or even worse. And I'm like, it kind of makes me kind of happy. It kind of makes me chuckle a little bit that I'm like, oh, look at that. Little old Rob. He's got some more success than some of these other ones. And then, of course, there are these other big channels that are just killing it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just a little guy over here. But I do check out other things and kind of like, where do I stack up? Where do I rank against some of these other guys? And like, hey, look at that. I'm doing something sort of right. Mr. Pritchard, where are you at? I'm surprised me and Richard Friend haven't collabed. I mean, that would be awesome. I just kind of feel like I'm too embarrassed to approach a guy. He's like a genius, brilliant artist, and I'm like, who the fuck am I to approach him? You know, I wonder if he's even heard of me. And I would not be surprised if not, because he's just over there working on his own stuff, killing it, and doing some amazing things. He's awesome. Strange Brain Parts. I don't know if I've heard of that one. Don't know if I know who that is. That channel. Oh gosh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm kind of with Sheldon here. Paul, who's Paul? He's great, even though his take on Paul is trash. Paul cucking Peter Parker. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I don't have no idea what you're referring to. So I'm just assuming that's some Spider-Man story that I probably don't want to read based on the way it sounds. Mr. Pritchard, California, Oregon border. Well, that's not too far away. Dan, my name Paul, and that's between y'all. I swear to God, Marvel can't seem to like get it past the idea of like Peter and Mary Jane are a couple, but we have to break them up, and then we'll put them back together, and then we'll break them up. But you know what? I've said this about corporate comics. They're not meant to be read for decades on end because they just start repeating stories, and shit that's happened gets repeated. Oh, and I've seen this. I've seen Peter and Mary Jane be together, and then I've seen them break up, and I've seen them cry and be sad about it, and then reconcile and get back together and be stronger than ever in a way that they would never break up, and then they break up. And it's like, I don't care. I can't read those comics forever because it's not meant to be done that way. Corporate comics do not have an endless shelf life. I think you're kind of lucky if you get in at a certain time and then you read them and you enjoy it, but then eventually you have to tap out because they're just going to start repeating shit and then it's going to piss you off. And I'm like, I don't need that. And it's kind of fine. I get it. I mean, you can't change these characters fundamentally, but you also can't do anything really interesting with them because you can't change them. So, like, I love Superman. I would love to do a Superman story, but I wouldn't even know where the fuck to start because how could I? Because everything has been done. What could I possibly say about Superman? And kind of like the X-Men, I would love to tell an X-Men story, but I don't know what to say. The versions of the X-Men that I like are long since gone. So I don't know what to do except make my own shit, which is what I'm doing. Yeah, can't ditch the IP, but can't innovate. That's why sometimes the only reason I'd be interested in going back to reading Marvel comic is if like they just kind of continue on from a storyline I'm already familiar with, which is dumb. Everyone's like, don't live in the past, move into the future. And I'm like, I get it. That makes perfect sense. But nothing has been as good as the past shit. So what do you want me to do? So we go out looking for new stuff, and then here I am trying to be like, hey, read my stupid comic. What's it about? Oh, well, there's this guy, right? He got his dick cut off, and his girlfriend keeps it in his jar, and then she fucked it, and then they fought a giant hairy wolf monster, and then they're like, you know what? I was out the instant you said severed cock, and it still works. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I have some research and development to do. Yeah, Superman will be public domain. There, that's true. Lex Luthor dumps Superman into still water, and the brain-eating amoeba gets into him. I bet no one's done that. The things our grandkids watch are being created now by indie creators. Yeah. Yep. But it's like, I still like these characters. I like Wolverine. I like Spider-Man. I like the X-Men. I want to see them continue to do cool shit. But what does it take? It's almost, for me, you have to just get a great writer and a great artist on it, and then just ignore everything that's happened, and then just kind of tell a fresh X-Men story that's kind of got all the traditional character tropes intact, and you just forget a lot of the modern insanity and just kind of pretend that it doesn't exist, and then just make something fresh. I don't know. That whole description I probably just said there doesn't make any sense. It's like, Rob, that what you just said was one of the most idiotic, stupid things. We're all dumber for having heard it. Like, I know. Yeah, Kirkman, he's making stuff. I mean, Battle Beast is awesome. Skinbreaker, I liked it, but at least it's a new thing. That's one thing you can say about Skinbreaker, whether you guys liked it or not, and I get why people maybe don't, because it kind of went nowhere. But at least it's new. It's something that's kind of fresh, and I didn't know where it was going. I would jump at a chance to work with Robert Kirkman. He's got some popularity. I mean, the whole Walking Dead thing and the Invincible animated thing. Like, yeah, buddy. What did I miss about Billy Madison? Wait, what? I've backed myself into this corner of drawing all these fucking bricks on this page, and now I have to finish it.
You said you wanted to be a hero. On me.
Was the original Sonya Blade and Billy Madison? Yeah, I forget the name of that actress. I heard that the new Mortal Kombat movie's kind of not bad. I've heard good things about it. I'm actually shocked. I was actually thinking about going to see it. I never saw the first one of this because this is a sequel. I never saw the last one. I kind of didn't care, but maybe. Every brick on the building, bud. Bridget, yeah, Bridget something sounds right. She was kind of not a great Sonya Blade because all she did was stand around and scowl at people and hate everybody. But she was kind of cute. She was not a good martial artist. God, no. Like, if you go back and kind of with a critical eye and watch some of the fighting scenes in that first Mortal Kombat, you can definitely tell who actually knows how to fight and who's just kind of like doing movie fight choreography that they've never done before. And it suddenly is like, wow, that sucks. That is just awful. Yeah, if she does her own stunts, that's fine, but it doesn't help if she sucks. And it looks really bad. She excelled at being really cute. And she excelled at eye rolling. But she was not a good martial artist. They didn't put her through the paces like they did with Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne in The Matrix. Now, those motherfuckers, they went through like real training, so it looks significantly more believable. And who doesn't like Keanu Reeves? That guy is awesome. Oh, yeah, no, I did. Okay, shit. Street Fighter and first Mortal Kombat. That Street Fighter is awful, but Raul Julia as Bison, he's kind of worth the price of admission because he's just so damn entertaining. My favorite thing with him is, of course, the Addams Family. He was so damn funny in that. Paul W. Anderson. That was his first movie? He's kind of done some awful stuff, and then he's kind of done some good stuff. Dan Barlow, you just found my channel. You're really enjoying your show. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming on board and everything and listening to my nonsense, at least for the moment. Don't worry, you'll probably get sick of me soon enough. Most people do. Just ask these guys. They'll tell you. Sheldon, you haven't watched the original Street Fighter? I mean, I don't know that it's worth to seek out, my dude. It may not be worth it. It's kind of unbelievably horrible. But it does have Van Damme, and he's kind of fun. He was coked out of his mind, from what I understand, in that production. So good job, Van Damme. Hope it was worth it, bud. We just can't quit you. It is for Cammy, Chun-Li. Maybe.
Ryan gave up at school. He was lacking focus. He didn't care. After switching to Connections.
Holy shit, I've been going for a long time.
I'm just so grateful to have my son back.
I think I might call it a night here. Hey, at least I got most of these bricks drawn in. I got to texture in these window shapes and do some... but I've been putting off the background on this goddamn page forever. And, all right, it's kind of finally coming together. Yeah, Bob Hoskins was drunk. Yeah, for real. Dan, I'm basically a one-man show. Basically... the book that I'm putting together, we've been talking about it. You may have missed the conversation on it. I did have inks done by former Image Comic inker Chuck Gibson, and so I've been working with him. But now that he's wrapped up working on my book, he's gonna move on to doing his own stuff. But we're still gonna, we're still friends, and we chat almost every day, and I'll still be working with him. But beyond that, it's my ideas, my pencils, my inks outside of the stuff Chuck has done for me. And it's just me. I'm just a guy in a house just by himself, just making shit and hoping that people will want to see it. But yeah, thank you, everybody. Mr. Pritchard, Dan Goodwin, Concrete, JOM, LL, Juggernaut. I don't know who else is still hanging out. Mr. Dan Barlow. Yeah, everybody. Sheldon, no one to rain Robin now. Yeah. Chuck was kind of a godsend. He kind of pushed me in certain directions and forced me to do better work because I had to honor this professional inker. So I can't produce my normal crap. So yeah, It was fun. I had a great time, guys. Dan, you're a one-man comic show. Well, I'd love to see your stuff. I don't know if you could find me on Instagram. If you're on there, I'd love to see what you do. We also have a Discord where a lot of these guys here are on there, and we all kind of share art, and you know, people will kind of show their work on a Discord channel. So if you're interested in that, but yeah, appreciate it, everybody. I'm gonna bounce. Yeah, I went a lot longer than I thought. That's which means I was having fun. So thank you, guys. Enjoy talking to all of you. And